Greetings everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm here to present to you the second episode of the Wrestling Corner. I really appreciate the love and the comments of my very first episode, and it's really amazing, and really thank you guys so much for the love and support. So it's all fitting to do a second episode. The first episode I talked about was the Benoit family incident. I will link it down below, or I'm gonna put it like a link down below, of course, or it's gonna be a playlist on my channel. Go to my channel, go to playlists. You'll be the very first playlist you see to see the first episode. If I don't link it down below. So, as spoken by my people on Instagram, which you should definitely follow. You should follow my social media if you want to cast your votes or stuff like that. I have made two votes, or about two storylines or rivalries that I've chosen. One of them is the Montreal Screwjob, and the other is the 2005 love triangle between Lita, Edge, and Matt. People have chosen the love triangle 2005. So, since you guys spoken and you guys want me to talk about it and get my thoughts and opinions, as always, let your thoughts, if you have any thoughts about the whole storyline, any storyline or any event about wrestling, keep it down in the comments. Heck, if you have anything or suggest any type of video or type of wrestling rivalry or wrestler, and you want to leave it in the comments, leave it down in the comments. And another thing to talk about and to mention, if that comment get a lot of likes, if one comment gets about 3 likes, that'll be the next video I'll make if that happened. Or I'll make another vote. I'll make another vote on Instagram about the third episode. And please let me know down in the comments, do you guys want me to do 2 videos per week for Wrestling Corner, or just once a week? Because I will definitely love to know, because I cannot make more. I'd rather just make 1 or 2 per week, because it's better than make it like 3, because I'm pretty busy. So, enough chit chat. Let's start with the 2005 love triangle between Lita, Edge, and Matthardy. So we sort of first start with the background. Okay, let's start as the background of the 3 people involved. First we have is Matthardy. Matthardy, all we know as he's one half of the Hardy Boys with Jeff, and he's the older brother of the Hardy Boys. He has been, in WWE he was kind of definitely started up in a tag team division. He started up back in like early 90s as an enhancement talent, and he's been in WWE since like 95, 97 with his brother, and his career didn't take off until like 99, with his wrestling career with his brother took off, and had great matches and all that type of stuff. And by this point in 2005, Matt was he was a mid card. He was a lower to mid card, and around 2003 he was a cruiserweight. He entered the cruiserweight division and won the cruiserweight title. So he was in the cruiserweight division and had the V version 1 after he split with Jeff. At the time, Jeff was wasn't in WWE at the time. He was in TNA around 2005. I think he already made his debut around there. So back when TNA was still new. So that's Matt. Next is Edge. Edge is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, by the way, if you guys don't know. I love Edge, it's one of my favorites. By this point, he had some accomplishments in his career at the time, all to 2005. He got a lot of accomplishment. He won the King of the Ring. He won the WCW US title. He won the Intercontinental title a couple times. He won some tag titles with Christian, and by this point in 2005 he won the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match for the very first one. So yeah, he's the very first guy that won that. And then lastly, Lita. Lita has been in the W for a pretty long time. She was like S.A. Rio's manager. If you guys remember him back in the Attitude Era, she was there since the Attitude Era, and she's at the time she was multiple time women's champion, and she was the face of the whole thing. She's the punk rockish girl, to like Trish, like the opposite version of Trish, like she's like elegant and elegance and beauty. Both her chicks are beautiful. So really phenomenal, fantastic. She does high risk moves and really good. She's a really good female wrestler, I gotta say. A really good female wrestler at the time. So Matt and Lita met through around 2000, where they had Team Extreme. Was Matt, Jeff, and Lita as Team Extreme, and Edge and Christian met each other since '99, and these two have been best friends, and they've been in a lot of matches, like the TLC match in SummerSlam 2000 with the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardys, as well the rematch at WrestleMania 17, which that match was amazing. I recommend watching both these matches. These are by far the best tag team matches of all time. Timeless classic. It's a legendary bout. It's legendary, it's awesome, and it's an amazing match. So I recommend watching. So if I say Jeff by mistake because I'm a big Jeff Hardy fan. Matt and Lita, behind closed doors, are both fall in love, and they had a relationship at the time. And Jeff was on SmackDown. He went to Raw around 2004, and he was a face. So he was a face with Lita, and then the whole Kane, story arc happened. That was a pretty bad storyline. It's one of the many of Kane's bad storylines, other than that Katie Vick storyline, which I don't want to talk about that Katie Vick storyline, which I will not even discuss it because it was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen, watched, and don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about that angle. That angle was so bad, and this is one of the Kane's most terrible angles. So Kane, was he raped Lita in kayfabe, okay, in kayfabe, not in real life, in kayfabe. He raped Lita, got her pregnant, all that shit. And by the way, before that, there was a rivalry between Kane and Matt. These two wasn't a rivalry. At the time, Edge, around 2004, was a face. I think he was about to turn heel and start his kind of heelish career from here until future. So Matt and Kane fought a match at SummerSlam 2004 to a until death split us apart match. Until death do us apart match. Basically a singles 1-on-1. If Kane wins, he would marry Lita. If Matt Hardy wins, he would marry one of them. The winner will be marrying Lita. Kane won and married Lita in kayfabe and all that type of stuff. So I went to kayfabe and all that type of thing. And then they got married, and then Kane just chokeslammed Matt Hardy, and he was out with a knee injury at the time. And Edge was a heel, so that's the whole thing. So here's now where we start the story. So Matt was at his home recovering from a knee injury, a serious injury for months. Then Lita was at the time she's alone. She wasn't with him a lot of the time. She was on the road still, And then she met Edge. These two were friends. They started to become these two were friends, chat buddy to buddy, traveling together and all that type of things. And then as time goes on, she started having an affair with Edge, and Edge has having an affair with Lita. Keep in mind that Lita and Matt are still a couple. and Edge was married at the time. So you with me this far? So Lita decided to have bought another cell phone to communicate with Edge, and Edge does the same thing. And it kind of similar. It kind of reminds me of the whole Lex Luthor and Miss Elizabeth in 2003, when like Lex Luthor was having an affair with Miss Elizabeth and all that type of stuff. If you guys remembered about the whole thing when Miss Elizabeth died through a drug overdose. So it's kind of like that. These two have been living together and all that type of stuff. And then Matt like noticed something weird, and she's kind of like Leah's kind of ignoring Matt completely. Until Matt one day found out about this affair between them, that Matt, at the time Matt and Edge were best buddies, since after like were best homies. Like so finding out that your best buddy sleeping with your current girlfriend, it's really bad, and she has an affair and she slept with him, so it's basically she's cheating on him. So he found the other cell phone and texting Edge, and then Matt did like kind of a whole reenactment of the whole thing on his YouTube channel. He did a reenactment of the whole thing, and he said to her that it's time to play a game, telling the truth, until he found out about the whole thing, and then these two broke up, and then Lita moved with Edge, and Edge, I think, her wife divorced him after she found the affair. After Matt made it public to the internet. In results of that, Matt got fired because of that, for making the affair public. So he got fired from WWE and completely got released because of that. And then Edge and Lita are basically just like prancing around. Everybody now knows about their real life relationship, and they put it on screen. And at the time, I think Lita turned heel to help Edge won the whole thing and all that type of stuff. So yeah, they were basically the top heels of Raw. It wasn't Triple H. I think no, Triple H was at the time wasn't there. Triple H was kind of like sorry, the reign didn't it was already done. So sorry, my brain was a bit confused. So they were the top heels of Raw. They were probably like the top heels of the whole WWE. And then Matt went in and went to Raw shows and beat the hell out of Edge. And then like Matt was like, was telling Adam, I'm gonna make your life miserable, and Amy, you whore. Which basically he referenced like Edge and Lita's real life name, real first names. Talking about ROH, until WWE can kiss my ass. Yeah, he mentioned ROH, he mentions Ring of Honor, so he mentioned a lot of things. And then, we won Matt Chance, out for months and months and months, until around like the summer of 2005. Matt, Lita, and Edge start to say, like, WWE's like, you know what? Let's hire Matt. Let's make up like this real life affair, real life drama into a storyline, which is a very bad idea. It's a bad idea, like period. It wasn't a good idea. They just literally make a profit out of the whole like real life scuffle between three, the love triangle, which is pretty much just WWE in a nutshell. Just make a profit off of this shit. If they didn't think they'd make a profit, I think Matt will not be in the WWE in like next couple of years. And before the show starts, so Edge got resigned. Matt got resigned. So Matthardy got resigned. Edge, Lita, and Matt are decided to say, yeah, let's make the storyline. They all shake their hands, and then this is where the storyline begins. And the first match was in SummerSlam, and Edge won the first encounter at SummerSlam by a KO because he was knocked the fuck out. and then they had a rematch on Unforgiven the following month. Unforgiven, well, Matt won by a cool ass leg drop from the top of the cage. It was insane, and won the match. So it was like 1-on-1, nail and nail. So they decided to say, hey, let's just make one last match. The stipulation is loser leaves Raw. So, and then where Edge won. So Edge won the whole rivalry. Matt lost, so he goes to SmackDown, and continues his mid-card career. And I think that's pretty much it. And that's pretty much all the rivalry. It wasn't a good rivalry. It was kind of like garbage. They tried to make this real life affair, make it like kind of public, and made it to a storyline, which is bad. It was really bad. And how Paul Heyman name dropped Matthardy in One Night Stand 2005. That was awesome. It was like, I have 2 words for you. Matt freaking Hardy. I love Edge's reaction. It was fucking hilarious. I like how Paul Heyman said, "Hide your wives. It's Edge." Sorry about the chick in the background. I'm recording this in the day. I apologize. I'm recording this in the day, so my apologies. So yeah, I'm recording this a bit early. It's better to record stuff early. Just let it out there. Alright, so back to the topic at hand. So, and then the whole rivalry wasn't that great. It wasn't good. It lasted a couple months. So it wasn't that great of a rivalry, I would say. I don't have much to say about the rivalry. So what happens after? Which is definitely the aftermath of the whole thing. So the aftermath. So with Matt, let's start with Matt. So Matt became kind of like a singles competitor for the next couple of years until like Jeff returned a year later, and then they were from the Hardy Boys, won the tag team titles, and won some singles title on the way until he got his release in 2010, and then a few years later, and then the rest of the story. Him became having the broken character. He went to ROH, went to Independence, and went back to TNA and got the broken gimmick in 2016 with the final deletion. The rest is history until he retired last year. He announced his retirement last year. So he announced his retirement. And then what about Lita? What happened to Lita? Lita has she stuck in WWE for too long. She's stuck in the WWE for at least another year in 2000. In 2006, she stuck with the WWE in 2006. So, 2006, she stays in the WWE till then, around Survivor Series when she completely left the WWE and ultimately retired, and then she became a Hall of Famer a few years later. A couple around 2014, 2013, she became a Hall of Famer. So, it was awesome. Then we talk about Edge, he's definitely the biggest one because after the event of Edge, after Edge has done his rivalry with Matt Hardy, a few months later he cashed in New Year's Resolution 2006. He cashed in his WWE contract, his first cash in on John Cena, and won his first world title, beginning his main event run. He became, and then at that time he became a main eventer. His main event career began, and he became the top heel. Won the WWE title, won numerous world titles in his career, became the top heel, and then he won the Money in the Bank as Mr. Kennedy. 2007, cashing in the Undertaker on the world title, goes to SmackDown. He became, the SmackDown guy until, he got injured a few times, won the tag team title. Then he got Achilles heel foot injury that got him out of action for almost a year. and then he came back in 2010 at the Rumble, won the Rumble match until, the following year when he won the world title, and then relinquished the title, vacates the championship due to his neck injury, and ultimately retire in 2010 until pretty much around pretty recent, I think. Last year he made his return to WWE as as a surprise entrant at the Rumble, number 21. It was amazing, it was awesome. And then, and then this year, a couple months this year, recently he won the Rumble for the second time, and he's currently a member of the roster right now. He wrestles right now, and so he's currently wrestling in the roster. He entered the Hall of Fame in 2011. And what about the rush between Edge and Matt? They reconcile, and they became best friends. I'm not sure about Matt and Lita though. They haven't reconciled. So yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if they will, but they probably might reconcile maybe one day. So we don't know. We'll see how it goes, I guess. So we'll see how it goes. So yeah, that's basically it, and that concludes the Love Triangle 2005. We talked about the before, the rivalry, and the aftermath, which I always talk about in my wrestling corner. I always have 3 chapters of them. So yeah, all these 3 people are legends in the wrestling business. The rivalry was bad. It wasn't that great. I saw the whole thing. It was kind of bad. They made a profit off of this shit. It's not the first time they make a profit off a, real life event, a real life problem, or real life event happens. So yeah, it's really scamming, really shitty. Not really good rivalry, in my opinion. It sucks, and it was kind of like a waste of time for Edge, because at the time Edge was built up to be a main eventer at the time, so it was a built up to be a big star in the making. So this was his breakout year. His actual breakout year was this one, so to the main event scene and all that type of stuff. So yeah, not really that great. Not my favorite storyline. So that concludes the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, the second episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments what are your thoughts about the whole love triangle. So, did you like it? Did you hate it? What did you think of it? So, if you have any thoughts, leave it down in the comments below. Link down below. Hopefully, I'll link down below the first episode, and this is the second episode of mini series. If the thing is, if this video gets about like a couple more views and a couple likes, I'll make another one. And please let me know if you guys want me to do it twice or once a week. I'm gonna upload this pretty soon, hopefully around the 10th or the 9th of September. So today is about the 7th, by the way. I'm recording this. So hopefully, if you guys enjoyed the video, hit like, subscribe, share. My goal is 200 subscribers is my goal. And let me down comments below which ones you're gonna be the next episode's gonna be about. To be a wrestler, about a rivalry as well. Let me know. So yeah, that's pretty much it, and yeah, see ya.